Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. I think it's time that we turn the heat up on elite. Burner in my pocket, who'da thought I'd need that just to eat? That's extreme, it ain't that bad. What you mean, where you been at? Our rights been taken, y'all mistaken if you think they're coming back. But they're lacking numbers, using media to paint massive numbers. Jacking what's yours, claiming that it's all for your good, and put your mask on, suckers. While we go to dinner with our buddies, laugh at people with no money. Yeah, keep thinking that shit funny till I walk in with guns on me, and I tell you get on your knees, and I ain't gon' say it twice, and I damn sure ain't gon' say please, cause I'd rather rot in jail than to have my kids inherit hell. I swear y'all acting like this communism shit's a fairy tale. Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours.
Picture me being that voice of the fight, making history. But every time that I have something to say, all these social media is just sent to me. I got a message from above sent to me. I'm supposed to do this, it was meant to be, because this country is truly on the verge of communism. Come on, let's agree. Mentally, I'm already ready. Yeah, bullets got many. I'ma pull through it like a heavy Chevy. On my way to it, nothing you can tell me. I can never believe these people trying to help me, like the government suddenly care if I'm healthy. Nah, they don't give a shit about us. It's all about them being powerful and wealthy. Two middle fingers, they told me don't turn it up more. I will never let them take my words, I'ma make my verse, I'ma sing that chorus. Anytime I ever spoke on something, I meant that all the way down to the core. Stand for something, to fall for anything. Where you at? Which side of the sword?
Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Let's go!
Straight white male, hate myself. Mad that my skin so pale. Got white privilege so I cannot fail. The world told me I'm evil stale. I break the law but I escaped the jail. My diet only mayonnaise and kale. I went to school and I pay my taxes. I used to grammar, I'm bad as hell. I'm not a Nazi, I like black people, black Jesus, black Santa, black coffee. I'm not a racist, I like Hispanics and Negroes and Natives and Asians. Black power says I'm the problem, girl power says I'm the issue. Gay rights think I'm trying to stop them. I'll let y'all trippin', I'll get you some tissues. Y'all have been painting me villainous. I'm not the one setting fire to your villages. I'm not the man that is raping and pillaging. I do not care if my neighbors are immigrants. Maybe all whites look the same and you think that I'm somebody else, so it's cool. Honestly, I think that everyone looks alike if they aren't white, and I'm sorry, it's true.
Straight white male,
I have it all, I'm the one that you love to hate.
straight white male,
Police pull me over, I LOL in their face.
straight white male,
Guess I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape.
straight white male,
It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great. Straight white male, I'm so frail. Mama gotta pay my bail. Shotguns and meth are both on sale. I'ma need to treat myself. I only listen to country music. I only marry my second cousins. I only cry when my team is losing. I blame everything on the blacks and the Muslims. Y'all blame me for building the system. Y'all blame me for wages we're paying the women. Y'all blame me for rights that gay people not giving. You blame me for talking when I should just listen. You blame me to say me the praise that we winning, and hate me for slavery. And lately I'm tripping that daily you shame me for having opinions on race in our country and everything in it. Fine, y'all don't gotta be my friends. Y'all don't gotta like white men. Y'all don't gotta hold my hand. Y'all don't gotta have my back. Y'all don't gotta see my side. Y'all don't gotta be down to ride. Y'all don't gotta do anything but ghost. And I'ma do me even when it's the most. Yeah.
straight white male,
that you love to hate.
Straight white male.
Police pull me over, I LOL in their face.
Straight white male.
Guess I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape.
Straight white male.
It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great. Man, you're so mean, you're so racist, you're ugly, you're so basic. You said that something, N-word, retard, Satan. I can't believe the bullshit song lyrics that you're okay with. Kill yourself while live on Facebook, I want the notification. I don't care, y'all ain't right. I'll be praying that you die. I'll be doing my own thing, I hope you're happy with your life. You're a Nazi, you're a moron, you're a huge waste of my time. I'm just straight and white and male, I'm not the worst, I'm just a guy.
Straight white male.
I have it all, I'm the one that you love to hate.
Straight white male.
Police pull me over, I LOL in their face.
Straight white male.
Guess I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape.
Straight white male.
It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great.
This is Tucker Carlson, and you're listening to the Slacker8Alpha Podcast, the #1 rated podcast today. And now your host, Maverick and Goose. This is Tucker Carlson, and you're listening to the Slack.
Sorry about that. Tucker got a little excited there. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hey, Jester's coming in here. Hey, Jester, how are you, buddy? You there, bud? Yep, I hear you. Little technical difficulties with Jester. While we're waiting for Jester to fix his mic there, let me bring in the stations here. Oh, sounds like I hear him. You in there, Jester? All right. Let me welcome 105.7 to Phase, Patriot Radio, Paisley Radio, RT Radio, FCM Live in the UK, the Hit Network with Aaron and the gang in the UK, FTM Radio in the UK, J Parker Radio, WESN Epic Strategy Network, 90.1 The Beat, and the Real Wise Radio. All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. Goose is on assignment. He's floating the waters with Mickey right now, so he will be back next week. I got Jester here.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yep, I got you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right? Sound good?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm just I'm using a speakerphone, so I don't know how good I'm going to sound.
That sounds fine. No, you sound all right.
Okay, great.
All right. So how you doing, buddy? It's been a while since
I'm good. I know. It's been a long time since I've been able to call in.
I know. Thanks for filling in for the Goose there. Sure
yeah, there's not really a lot of people that can fill in for that guy, but you know, I'll try to do my best.
Yeah,
Fuck
right?
Biden.
I
feel like if I just say that every once in a while, people won't even know Goose is gone.
You won't even know. Yep.
Yeah, they'll just think that I'm Goose.
Radio's in the house. We have to make Goose take the trash out for a month. Yeah, he's on vacation. He needed a vacation. He needed a break from all the all the Biden stuff is making him crazy. I think. So
that guy needs a vacation. What's he doing?
He's floating the seas with Mickey Mouse right now. So
oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
so I wonder if he's like embracing the transgender community there or not. Because they don't say like, boys and girls anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You know that, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did change it, didn't they? Yeah.
He's probably over there trying to just grab one of the mics to say it randomly.
Yeah.
Not gonna let it die.
You can always rely on Disney to cave with everybody else.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's caving or if it's actually they're leading the charge and they're the there's a lot of like sick people that work there now,
Yeah, I mean, well, like got them pedophiles working there, I guess
Yeah, and I think they may have always been a part of that, And you ever notice how like they used to? This is one of the things they always said was like they would bring up old cartoons of like Bugs Bunny dressed as a girl or some shit like that, and they would say, like, "Oh, well, that kind of stuff's been around forever." And then I started to think, I was like, "Yeah, it has," and it was like it kind of like permeated a lot of the cartoons and shit that I watched when I was a kid. And I was like, maybe they were just as sick back then too, and they were still the ones in control of the animation. Like maybe it's like a hotbed for that kind of culture, you know. Maybe there were pedos back then too. You know, we just didn't know it because there weren't people calling it out as much.
Yeah, that could be. It could be. Yeah, I think they were just they just do it now more right out in the open. They don't care now. I mean,
Blatantly,
yeah. I mean, they used to do it real secretly, throw it in there every once in a while. I mean, you didn't really know it, but now it's like every TV show you watch is. Every commercial, everything, they throw it in your face.
Yeah, I think it used to be so rare that you would genuinely look at it and think like, "Oh, that's funny," because it's absurd, But now it's more of it's like intentionally consistent and like it's an affront to Christianity almost. Like they're purposely trying to like say like, "Go fuck yourself," or kind of like rub your nose in it,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Kind of the same way that they, insisted on having gay marriage when plenty of people were willing to compromise and say, why don't we just call it a civil union and you still get the same rights? But the whole point was to kind of stick it to Christians because Christians have such a respect for marriage. It's such a big part of Christian traditions.
Right.
That the whole point was to stick it to the Christians. It wasn't about equality or mutual tax benefits or anything like that. It was basically to stick it to Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. No,
and now Goose is giving him money. He funds liberal leftists. I knew he was a goddamn Biden.
The funny thing about Goose was, I mean, after when Disney came out with all that stuff and they started going against Florida when DeSantis entered that bill, I call it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. Everybody,
right? But that's not really what it is. But I understand why you say it.
But when that happened, and Disney started voicing their opinion, he's like, "Oh, I'm canceling my annual passes, and I'm not going to Disney anymore."
Oh yeah, I remember him saying that.
Remember? And screw that! I'm not going on the cruise either. We canceled that shit. And then
liar.
His daughter gave him. I think his daughter told on him because when she was on the show, remember? I don't know if you were on there. His little kid, I'm going on a Disney cruise, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to out him on the show. But afterwards, I'm like, dude, I thought you told me you guys were going. Oh, yeah. My wife. I just go along, like you do with your wife. I'm like,
okay, yeah. I'm going on a Disney cruise.
Yeah, she was like, I'm like, really?
He was probably like,
I'm like,
he was probably like in the background when she was in the background saying, he's like, "Hey, shut up, cut it out."
He did the subject real quick.
He put his hand over her mouth.
All of a sudden she disappeared. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, where'd she go? He's got her tied up somewhere, gagged. Like, oh god, poor kid.
But yeah,
the kids are probably having a blast though. I mean, I just went there not too long ago, beginning of the year. It was the first time I've ever gone. Like,
we're we
with
have
my kids.
We're pass holders too, but they're just wasting away. I mean, because it's so hard to find time with everybody to get everybody together to go at the same time.
And not only that, like even though you have the annual passes, the amount of money you would still spend there.
Yeah, I mean,
just on all the bullshit,
all that crap.
Hotel.
But at least with the annual passes, they give you decent discount on the hotels and stuff. So
yeah. And we stayed at one of the Disney resorts, and that was my first time ever staying at a Disney resort. That was the first time ever taking my kids, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a fucking blast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love the Disney resorts.
Yeah, I do too. I like staying right to a property. You don't have to do anything. I mean, you park
Absolutely.
your car and you don't have to move it. the whole
Yeah,
time
it's
there.
phenomenal. And they usually have like some kind of public transit to get to the parks. I
Yep.
do the same thing when I go to Universal Studios or something like that.
Yeah.
I love the Universal resorts too. I just love the idea of just kind of being there, and then you can hit the downtown areas, and if you want to go have some beer, or like you know, even if the kids are like asleep and the wife's in the hotel room, you can sneak down and go to one of the little bars in the area or something like that. It's phenomenal. I love that experience, but I can't support like chopping kids up, man.
No, yeah. I mean,
It's too much. That's a line. It's a line that's big enough, or
the line
you know,
in the for you.
yeah, that I can
Line right
finally stop there.
Yeah.
And when I went at the beginning of the year, it was in I think February or something for my daughter's 3rd birthday. It was they hadn't done that all that, you know, the say gay bill or whatever. That hadn't happened yet. So they hadn't come out so fervently for transitioning kids. So I didn't have that line to draw yet, or else I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
That being said, we did have fun. I mean, I'm just sad. I'm sad that my son's never gonna really probably experience that.
Probably go right.
Yeah, I'll probably take him to Bible Land or something now, because you know.
Yeah. Is there a
Dollywood or some shit.
Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one place I'd like to go. I think to go to see Elvis's house and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool as shit.
Yeah, we'll go. What's going on? Let's see here. Hey, I saw. Did you see that thing today? Alex Jones. He's got to pay $965 million.
Fucking fuck.
To the families of Sandy Hook because he said it was a hoax.
Oh, see, now that they're just trying to bankrupt. They're just trying to it's
shit.
not even about restitution.
I don't know what will. I mean, you might as well just say it's $1 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I didn't really research Sandy Hook a lot. I remember when it happened. I remember there was a lot of weird shit, and there's a lot to be said about the government committing false flags. I truly believe that. There's tons of evidence in the past, in the 60s, the CIA doing stuff like that, proposing stuff like that. It's all government record. They're willing to and have been willing to do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And they probably have done it. If they're willing to do it, like willing to propose it to presidents and shit like that, like they did JFK, right. You know, you got to think that behind the scenes, they actually probably have done stuff like that. So somebody proposing that is not that absurd to me.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
the one thing. So I'm not saying that he's right.
Right.
Because I don't know. I haven't looked at it enough. I did see a lot of weird stuff about it that
there
always made me very suspicious.
And that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it never happened, but I mean, there was a lot of discrepancies in there. I mean, you know, there was a lot of things that it made you go, You know, but I don't know if I'd go.
Almost every one of those it seems like don't make any sense.
There's always something that makes you go, you know, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's almost like they can't get it right.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like the Uvalde where the cops were all like standing out inside. You know, there was clearly like situations where like you're like that doesn't make any sense at all, even to a normal person.
That was a total shit show there. I don't even understand that. I mean, I don't understand how anybody standing there could just not go. You know what I mean? I don't. I mean, I picture myself there, and I'd have to be down. I'd have to be trying to get in that fucking door. I mean, you know, I mean, knowing what was going on. I mean, you know what's going on. You hear the gunshots. You know what's going on, and you're standing at the other end. You know.
Well, I think the one mom that they ended up, you know, handcuffing and stuff. I think she's looking at prison time because she shoved one of them to get him out of the way to get through. And they charged her with like felony assault on a police officer or something like that. I think she was looking at like 3 years in prison or some shit.
That's unbelievable.
Because she tried to save her kid.
Exactly.
But you know, that being said, I'm not saying that Sandy Hook didn't happen. Maybe it didn't happen the way they said it did, or maybe there was ulterior motives behind the whole situation. Somebody else was pulling the strings and caused it. I don't know. But one thing I don't understand is how the hell does Alex Jones going on there and on air? It doesn't matter how many people he's reached, saying anything, no matter what he's saying. How does it affect them, the family? Yeah, I understand it could hurt them emotionally, but it doesn't make any sense that they need to get $1 billion.
No, I mean,
Insane.
It became just for him because of who he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they
It's to
just
teach them a
figured,
lesson.
we're gonna make an example out of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, Bravo's calling in. Hang on, let me. Okay. Yeah, I think it was just they just decided, well, you know what, we're gonna make an example out of him, so we're gonna go after him for everything he said, and
Yeah.
I mean, Bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo,
good luck with getting 900 and some million off of Alex Jones.
900. What is that? It was 900.
Yeah, I would think even if he had that much,
He doesn't have that
Didn't.
much money.
No.
I mean, it's a joke. It is. The whole thing is a joke. It is. They're just trying to bankrupt them. He's
That's what I was saying.
he's on the wrong side of. He's not on the communist socialist side, so they have to try to sink him. And this is why they're doing it. I mean, in America, you're not guaranteed not to be offended.
Right.
I mean, this whole politically correct movement. I mean, they took him to court because he broadcast something. Then why are we taking CNN and ABC and NBC to court and everything every time they say something that's not true, and they recount it on page 20 of the newspaper or something?
right.
It's just not.
And I don't even think what he said is any form of defamation, anyways.
No,
let's just
I
say,
heard what he said.
Let's
too.
just say
Yeah.
I said you kids don't exist, and they didn't exist. That is not defamatory to you, even if it's false.
Right.
Defamatory would be against your character, like they did with the kid that shot the guys out in whatever it fucking Wisconsin or whatever the fuck it was. What was that kid's name?
Yeah.
Oh,
At the Black
Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah. I mean, what they were saying about him is defamatory. It is
Right.
It is hurting his character and hurts his future ability to provide for himself because people will disassociate with him because they think he's a racist. That's defamation. That is an actual monetary, harm that you're causing to somebody. Saying that your kid never existed, that's not defamatory. That doesn't cause you any kind of monetary.
I don't even know if he went and called out individual names and said they didn't exist. It
Probably didn't.
It was kind of like a general thing, like, this could be a false flag. Some things don't seem right. And he was pointing out the inconsistencies and things like that. And, and later on, he did go back and say, before they even said anything to him, he went back and said, looks like it possibly did go down, but there's still things that aren't right with it. And, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which is
a fairly logical train of thought for any normal person. Even if you're not a conspiracy theorist like me or a kook or a fucking schizo like me, a normal person, if you showed them some of the stuff, the inconsistencies with the story, they'd be like, that is fucking weird. And it's not like he said he said anything worse than that,
No, I know. Well, no. Well, nowadays, the only, the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory is about 6 months.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes shorter than that. I mean, how many things have come true? That, especially that Alex Jones has said in the past that they called him a nut for, and now everything that he said was the truth, just about.
Oh yeah, that's like the running joke on the internet now is Alex Jones was right again.
Yeah.
Put a
right.
put a
the
quarter in the
Bilderberg
Alex Jones jar because he's
the
right
Bilderberg
again.
group. They told us we were nuts if we even mentioned a name. Now it's like, oh yeah, they're around and they meet every year. And in an Illuminati, if you said that they existed, you were a crazy tinfoil hat nut. Now it's like, oh yeah, they exist. They've existed a long time. They're helping humanity.
What's the progression of like the way they try to discredit something? At first they adamantly deny it exists. And then after a little while of everybody going like really hammering it home, they go, okay, maybe it exists, but it's not as bad as you think.
Right.
And then the
Right.
next step is okay.
They
It's
throw
bad,
a 180-degree thing on that.
yeah.
You're right. They do. It's called deny, deny, deny until you can deny no more. Then you say, "Oh yeah, we've been around. We've been around forever. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we're not as bad. It's not what you
We're
think.
good.
Yeah.
We're humanitarians."
This is
Yeah.
why inflation is good. The country's not in inflation or a recession.
Right.
Okay, we're in a recession, but this is why recession's good. Like, oh, wait a minute, hold the fuck
Right.
on.
Right.
But I'm honestly, would anybody be surprised if somebody came out and like said that they tainted the jury pool for the Alex Jones trials? I would never be surprised by that. Like,
Well,
I
they did it.
genuinely think that's what's happening now.
Well, I don't think I'd be surprised. I don't even think he could get a fair trial.
Hell no, he
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
get.
I
In
know.
Washington, I mean,
think
now
they
in
could-
Connecticut or Washington D.C., like that's just like what was Trump's guy's name that took care of his campaign and then he left for a while. They
starts with a B.
Roger Stone.
Oh, Roger.
Just
Stone.
like Roger Stone, putting him in Washington D.C. with a bunch of liberal wackos. Is he going to get a fair trial? Hell no. That's
No.
why they were able to get a conviction on him.
Yeah, I honestly think it's not
Flynn.
even like that. I think they're intentionally tainting these pools to the extent that they know that there's activists on these juries that will, no matter what the facts say, no matter what the law says, they will convict for ideological reasons only.
Right.
It's literally insane.
They weaponized the court systems. They've weaponized the state agencies and federal agencies. I mean, look at CPS. CPS in the beginning had no power whatsoever to do anything. They couldn't just come into your house and take your kids and all that stuff. Now look at them. Now they can do it. They'll take your kids for something stupid that you try to explain it. That's not the way it went down. They don't want to hear it. They take your children for 6 months. And here they let pedophiles and people rape children and steal them and sell them into sex slavery. I mean, that's there's two sets of justice out there, one for us and one for them.
Yeah, and this is something I've said a long time. And you don't hear it really hammered home a lot. The way that they weaponize the justice system and these Soros appointed prosecutors in these specific cities. If I commit a crime and my ideology is right wing, right, and you commit the same crime and your ideology is left wing, as a prosecutor, if you prosecute only the person on the right side of the political aisle for the same crime, but let the person on the left side go, you're essentially making right-wing ideology illegal. It's an end around to make being a right-winger illegal or conservative ideology illegal by selective prosecution, basically. So if you're only prosecuting one side and letting the other side go, you're essentially making what that right side believes illegal.
Let me read what Eric posted here. The weakness about our judicial system is the incompetent jurors, which the judicial system regardless. Sorry, here, let me do this again here. The weakness about our judicial system is the incompetent jurors. The judicial system, regardless of the prosecution or the judge may thrive on it.
That's a tough one. You might want to rewrite that. That was a hard one.
I'm not sure you got that to come across. I'm going to read that again here. Weakness about the judicial systems are incompetent jurors. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that or not.
I mean, a good example of what we're just talking about is the summer of Black Lives Matter, Antifa and everything, burning cities, smashing people's heads with bricks and shooting people and everything. And not any of those guys got arrested or anything. But you get January 6th grandmothers that when the FBI or whoever the informants were opening the doors for the people and letting them in, they're arresting them. But they didn't arrest the people that were staging things within the Capitol. Like that Ray Epps guy, which they already proved that he's an FBI informant and everything else, and he hasn't even. No one ever said anything about that. Or the CNN people. Remember they got caught on tape, staging stuff within the Capitol and all that. Nothing ever came of that either. It's all a joke, and people are seeing through it. I don't know how much longer they're going to put up with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we still got some more crap to go through before.
Oh yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how this whole Trump thing plays out.
Oh, I know. Well, I really think that they're going to arrest Trump, and I think that's going to start the ball rolling. That's what I think. Whatever's going to happen, that's probably going to be one of the triggers. That, and if say the Ukraine gets nuked or something like that, I mean, then
Yeah, I know.
because then we have a possible military catastrophe, and the military is going to have to get involved. And if Biden's not really the commander in chief, then whoever is needs to step up and start leading.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to arrest Trump specifically to trigger some form of, like, I don't know, physical revolution from the right, so that they can come in with the army and the military and try to squash them, and then they can really play up the domestic terrorist,
Yeah,
and you got to really, because I mean, what's going to make people vote against Trump even more than that? I mean, if you can really
all that's going to do is beef up his support. I think if they arrest him, I mean, do you see that he already cut down all the big palm trees and everything around his house to clear it all out and everything, so people have a clear shot of seeing what's going on and everything. Really? And a press release came out and said that they're re-landscaping, but they're saying they cut big old palm trees down and everything. So I think, and him coming out and saying that either put me back in as president because this was stolen from me, or put me on the 2022 ballot. According to their fake laws, I mean, he's a denier of the 2020 election. Who won, right?
Yeah.
So he's antagonizing them, daring them to come in there and do something. I think.
They're not.
Well, yeah, because that alone they can try to get him on.
They're not going to arrest Trump, and if they did, he would become the largest martyr that there is, and then he'd still come back and win the presidency.
Yeah, well, nothing's going to happen, even if they do. But even if they do arrest him and they put him on house arrest, all that's going to do is supercharge everything.
Exactly, to his favor.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, we're not saying.
Okay,
we
good.
agree that
Like,
that's
I
going to
gotta
make.
be honest with you guys. I
I
disagree.
do think
I
that
agree with
Democratic Party used hackers to win the election, and yes, I do believe it was stolen. President Trump should be our president right now. Hacking is out of control, and Maverick, you should really think about doing a show solely on hacking, because there's a serious problem going on within Podbean. I mean, like a bad one, and nefarious things are going on. But as far as like AT&T hiring all these hackers and coders to, I mean, just massive amounts. And you know who owns AT&T, correct?
Who's that?
Time Warner. And you know who owns Time Warner? Hollywood.
Right.
So, I mean, there's something, they're trying to keep their agenda in there, and Biden should not be there, and he's the one who should be arrested, him and Hunter.
Well, we know
The
Hunter's.
whole administration should be arrested.
I don't believe Hunter will ever see the inside of a jail cell either. I don't.
No, I
believe
don't
that.
think so either.
Me either. It's sad.
I think they're gonna give him the opportunity to plead out some bullshit like probation. They're charging him with some bullshit charges so they can say, "Look, we're bipartisan. See all that bias stuff.
Well,
that's bullshit."
Well, you got to remember, a judge has authorized that they have to release Seth Rich's laptop And the whole theory behind this whole thing is that all that information, when they said Russia, that they were hacked, the DNC was hacked, that all came from the that worker, Seth Rich. And then, then of course he got murdered just randomly in Washington, D.C., shot in the back. And they didn't even steal anything from him. But, it happens all the time. Nothing to see there. So that's just happened. The Hunter Biden laptop's now been released. I mean, I think you got to remember, things trickle out. It takes a long time for any type of justice to come out.
I think that's the downfall of the whole situation. That's why there isn't really any,
and they know that,
anyone held accountable, because like the FBI can basically stonewall. Like, let's just say the Republicans take over in the midterms, right? And they start all these active investigations, trying to bring stuff to light. You're not going to see anything happen from that for at least 3 or 4 years, if you're lucky, because the FBI has the ability to just stonewall, slow walk documents, wait 7 months to finally turn something over, and then you got to wait another 7 months to get the next batch. They have a good ability to wait things out until a favorable Congress comes back into power, or until their cronies are back in the office, back in the White House, or back in Congress. I don't think they'll ever be held accountable for anything.
Well, see, that's what I mean. This is taken over. I mean, our whole country's been taken over by communist socialists. I mean, every agency, the mainstream media, academia, there isn't anything that they haven't infiltrated. I mean, they had fully infiltrated the government back in the 50s, and that was proven through McCarthy, who they made look like a nut. Now, imagine it's 2022 now. I mean, imagine how deep they are into everything. We're seeing it now. And we would have never saw that before if it hadn't been for Trump. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be something bigger is going on here. Like I said, I don't know everything, but I know something. You can tell something big's going on, and that something's going to happen. You don't just go after an ex-president because you don't like him or anything like that. You go after him because you fear him. You fear that he's going to do something, so you got to take him out before he can do anything. That's what they're doing.
The weirdest thing I've seen is like the thing that they're trying to say, where Biden's saying, "Oh, I hope I get to run against Trump again. I'm going to clean his clock again." Or the leftist Democrats a lot on the media are constantly saying, "Oh, they're not scared of Trump." Like, you would not be going after this guy the way you do if you weren't scared of him.
Right.
The bad thing about the FBI right now is that the FBI, current FBI, is the leftover from the Obama administration.
Right.
So
there's a lot of layers of Obama crap.
Biden's agendas. So November is extremely, extremely important.
Well, think about it.
I say something's got to happen before November, because if November is allowed to go through, then 2020 becomes irrelevant at that point. So they can't. I mean, something's got to happen before then.
It's got to be a big October surprise.
Yeah.
Essentially, what happened with Trump was, it was almost like the movie Terminator, where the government's become so big and so powerful, like Skynet, that they have like its own self-awareness, try to protect itself once Trump came into office. And they were like, we got to eliminate this guy. We got to get him out of here. Just try to hold us accountable.
And now that he's been in there and he's seen everything and he knows all their dirt and all the crap that they've done. That's why,
Imagine what he's seen as far as top
Bravo
secret
is right.
information.
Bravo is completely right. They call themselves the Democratic Party. It's not like the 80s Democratic Party. And everything that they're doing is socialist, geared towards socialism. They want everybody on some kind of government program, which makes them dependent upon the government. They want to give everybody this free Wi-Fi, and everybody thinks, oh, that's a gift. No, just so they can control it. It's unbelievable, this Democratic Party. I'm surprised that assassinations have not happened.
I take exception to you saying it's not like the 80s Democrat Party. It was like the Democrat Party. They've always been this way since probably the 50s or 60s.
Even earlier than that.
They were really good at hiding it. They just They didn't let you know as much as they did now. Now they just don't
Maybe
care.
you're right. We
They know
didn't have
they
the
control.
internet back then.
They
Everybody
know
Yeah.
they've won the culture war.
Okay.
They're not
Right.
concerned anymore. They're not concerned about being canceled or being kicked out of
Yeah,
office.
remember when
Don't
Khrushchev, was it 1962 or 63, when he slammed his shoe down on the table? He said, "We are this close," and he held his finger up about an inch from infiltrating a party in your one of your political parties. And then in 1968 is when the Democrats were taken over by the crazy wacko left liberals, what they called them liberals, but really they were just socialist communists that took over the party. I mean, and so it's been at least since 68, that they infiltrated totally. So, and it's just gotten worse. I mean, the fascist, I'm having a brain cloud here.
I'm trying to say fascist.
No, sophisticated. The sophisticated technology that they have now to be able to do the things they can do. But you know what? That's going to be their downfall too, because also military intelligence and agencies that are still patriotic have the same capabilities now.
Well, I mean, as far as the Democrats being bad, even back in the 80s, I mean, Ted Kennedy himself wrote a letter to who was the guy that he wrote a letter to in the Soviets?
Gorbachev?
It was Yuri Andropov. Or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. The general secretary of the Soviet Union, asking for help to defeat Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, you're right.
If that's not proof that they were commies back then,
they actually have the archived They have the archived letter. Yeah.
And that guy never got charged with treason. This is the problem that the right has, is when they win
because
elections,
they control everything.
When they win elections, there's no retribution for what the leftists have done. There's no payback. There's no holding anybody accountable. They go, we won now, even though they did all this scummy, treasonous shit. We won, so we'll just kind of let it go.
Well, it's because they fear. I believe they fear the Democrats. Look at Clinton in 1990. Remember when they found 999, they said, FBI records in a closet at the White House. Right. And nobody ever got in trouble. Remember they said that ex-bouncer that was his, part of his security detail or something, went and picked up those files. And they turned them back into the FBI after they had them for about a year. What do you think they did with all those? That was every politician that was in office. That's how they blackmailed everybody. I mean, they've been blackmailing everyone for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, what do? They probably take all these new politicians and stick them in a room with a kid and tell them to do stuff and then film.
Well, we know who that was. That was Jeffrey Epstein on his island.
What they do is they vet them first, watch them, and they find their weaknesses. And then they send whatever. Say if you got a philandering politician, they'll send in a honeypot. You guys know what a honeypot is, correct?
Why?
Okay, that, or if you whatever weakness they have, they'll find it and they'll send somebody in there. They're these dirty dogs that we're playing with nowadays. And I think the only way is to fight fire with fire and do not lay down. I mean, they're just, I really almost think it's time for a big, huge grassroots movement or a freaking revolution, because this is bad. Beyond bad what they're allowing to happen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Goose is giving them money at Disney World right now.
Goose.
Yeah, where are you, Goose?
I know, it's a shame because I like Disney World too. It's a shame that we let the pedophiles and the sickos take it over. You know what I mean? And no one's ever said anything. It's like these people appoint each other. They appoint each other in all these positions in all these industries, and they blackmail one another. They're all blackmailable. I mean, that's why they do whatever they're told to do.
Goose right now is giving Mickey Mouse a lap dance. What a sick fuck.
Yeah. Turn your head, kids. Yeah.
Oh, no. Better hope he doesn't download this episode. Now, I'll give you a prime example of what they do to politicians. There was an ex guy, well, he doesn't have a show in here anymore, but he will be coming back, was running for senator. These group of men befriended him, followed his weakness, said, hey, come party with us. Hey, come party with us. Got him into a basement, started partying with him. He was doing his podcast in there. They're snapping all kinds of pictures of him smoking pot, tooting coke. So what they did, they acted like they were his best friends. And what they were doing is gathering evidence to blackmail him later. Yeah, it's unreal. Unreal what these people are doing nowadays.
That means
basically
don't go. You don't know, and smoking dope and everything else. Then you won't be able to be blackmailed.
You gotta be. I agree. You gotta be pretty clean nowadays, pretty transparent to be able to be a real person for change. So nobody can come up and blackmail you.
Yeah,
well, you hear what they're trying to do to Herschel Walker and all that. I mean, they'll try to destroy anyone. What happened to Black Lives Matter? You know, but when it comes to Herschel Walker, they're like slamming him. Saying that he was a certain way to his wife and all that crap that they're saying. I mean, it's crazy.
They're saying, that's because he kind of did that to himself. I mean, paying for an abortion and shit, and then saying he's against it. I mean,
well, you can be against it, even though when you were a teenager, maybe you were stupid, young, and dumb, and didn't know any better.
You're running for office, and you're saying I'm against abortion, but you paid for 2. I mean,
that's called growth, though, in my opinion.
Or you repented. He repented of his things. I mean, at least he's not trying to sit there and go kill your babies like all these liberal wackos are doing.
But the problem was, you put it out there.
5 Hail Marys and a couple of our fathers.
Right.
Look at it this way. When he was young, he didn't have someone in his ear telling him you shouldn't do that. You should do the right thing and try to step up.
Right. They're exploiting. You can't find anybody that's clean. There's nobody clean.
Seeing that you didn't have that as a young man, that should make you even more, as a grown adult, more mature man, change that so that doesn't happen to other black men. So that they get the advice and the strong leadership that you never got as a young man, so they can make better decisions, so that they can step up to the plate and build a better community.
Yeah. I mean, you know, as you get older, you get more conservative in the way you think, and you see that when you were young and you were stupid. You know what I mean? I mean, that's
all the things for the world that you didn't have when you were younger. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to do as a father myself. The things that I missed out on, or the things that I felt like I lacked in my childhood from my parents or whatever society didn't give me, I try to be those things for my kid, because I'd be a moron to not do that. You know what I mean? If I was like, I went out and, slept around a lot when I was young, so I don't have the right to tell my kids not to do that. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
That is the most asinine thing in the world, right? Yeah. But the press, but like Maverick said, the press will use that, and they know that there's a lot of people that will go, oh, he's a hypocrite now. You know what I mean? I mean, because that's the way people think, even though that they've probably done it.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not a hypocrite when you're older, then you're a stupid ass. You know what I mean?
You know what? Even though that you do things sometimes, you know what's right and wrong, and you know what you're doing is wrong. If you're not looking at your youth in a fundamentally different way, from a different perspective, and saying, yeah, I should not have done those things, and therefore I should encourage others to not do them now that I see the error of my ways. Right.
That's a good thing. That's called maturity. That's called growth. And that's one of the things leftists don't do. They go, oh, I smoked pot and I banged a bunch of people when I was in the hippie and when I was in my 20s, so I should let my 20-year-old or 15-year-old do it. And then it's destructive. You're supposed to encourage people not to make the same mistakes that you make.
Right. Now, what they should question is, who's that running for governor, where she had a slavery thing and she was like, they were putting leashes on each other, walking each other around and all this shit. What was that all about? I just heard that today.
Who was that?
That's
I didn't know about that.
is that who's the one running against? Is there one that's running against Lake?
Hang on.
Yes.
Who's it, Eric?
Katie Hobbs of Arizona, and she doesn't even have the cojones to share the debate stage with Carrie Lake either. And go figure.
Yeah, she had and she's done blackface. I mean, they had this. This was all in her whole school was like this. So I don't know what school she went to because I didn't really hear the whole conversation. But they were saying that it was like a club, and they would treat the other ones like slaves and everything, and they would have reparations. I mean, or not reparations, but punishments and everything, like they would do to slaves if they were bad and things like that. You know, for the class and demerit system, and I mean, it was just wacky. I'm like, where in the hell did that? I think she's like in her 50s, isn't she, or something like that?
KKKK high.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like a typical Democratic-run school system back in the 60s or 70s.
You really have to be deranged to be a leftist at this point. It really is. That whole joke about
it is a mental disorder. It really is.
That joke is like, it's not even a joke anymore.
No, that's Michael Savage. Liberalism is a mental disorder.
I used to
He's
love
right.
Michael Savage so much.
Yeah, me too. I haven't listened.
Just screaming at the mic. That guy did not. He was like ahead of his time. He did not hold.
I mean, yeah, he's got like 3 doctorate degrees. I mean, the guy's brilliant. I mean, he's just common sense brilliant.
Oh God! So what else is in the news?
Let's see what we got. Let's see what
Anything
else
good
going on.
What else can we rant about?
Isn't it funny how like you bring up like any news on the internet, Yahoo News or any of these different ones or Google News, and all you see is Russia's getting beat by the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are taking over. Russia's demoralized, and you're like, these people are. I'm telling you, it still reminds me of Baghdad Bob during the Iraqi war. As we were coming in there, slaughtering, on our way into Baghdad, he's saying from his car, "We're winning, we're beating the Americans, we're whipping their ass," and like it's the same thing that the press is doing right now. I mean, it's just wacky. It's like they want to see the Ukrainians slaughtered. They just want to keep this thing going and make it a meat grinder.
Well, they're getting all that aid from other countries. So I mean,
right, and people are saying, "Where's all that aid going? Where's this $80 billion? I don't see any $80 billion or 120 billion in any weapon systems there being used." Yeah. And they just caught the Ukrainians using old Lebanon footage showing a whole area blown up, and it was from back in the Lebanon war.
Wag the dog.
I mean, it's just everything's propaganda. I wouldn't believe anything that you see right now. Anything on either side, on the Russian side or the other.
That's one of the things that makes me the angriest about the news organizations now. It's not that they lie, it's that they now have destroyed any trust I have in them. And they're supposed to be the purveyors of truth. They're supposed to be the ones that we can count on to kind of peel back the layers to show us the underside and show us the truth about our own government and like that. But now I don't trust anything. I don't trust them at all. Everything
it would be so easy to tell us the truth about Biden. Like I just saw a video of Biden. He was supposedly at the White House getting ready to go to his little Marine One, and the press started asking questions, and he turned around and started running. Well, what you didn't notice, if you didn't really pay attention, they had a wall up to block where you couldn't see the city skyline in the background. Now, there is no city skyline at the real White House, but they actually, smart people, which I didn't even notice it when I first looked at it, but they actually took that video and they zoomed in on it and they go, look, there's a giant, retaining wall to try to hide the city skyline so you can't tell where he's at. It makes it, it kind of blended in like behind the trees, but you can definitely see it, and you can see a little bit of a skyline behind it where you can see some buildings. So he's not at the White House. He's either at Castle Rock, or that other place, Tyler Perry's place down in near Atlanta, near the international airport down there. He has a mock-up of the White House that's scale modeled to the White House. And you're like, well, why would you make that,
Yeah.
about 10 years ago, unless you knew you were going to use it at some point? So that's another story. But yeah, I just thought, and all the press would have to do is show that one thing, zoom in on that and say, what is this? And boom, that would get everybody going, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? But, people like us have to go around and find this stuff and then put it out on Telegram and BitChute and Rumble and stuff like that to try to get the word out, because still the fake stream media won't put anything out.
Oh, yeah, because the press is there in front of them. They know he's not where he's there.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They had they had about maybe 24 of them, like standing like behind a rope. It looked so cheesy, as soon as they started asking him questions, he literally turned around and started running. What a goofball.
Remember all those green screen glitches that videos where the microphone suddenly appears behind his hand and all that.
Yeah.
Have you seen those? They're like the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Well, today one surfaced, and you can go on my Telegram account. One surfaced with Zelensky. He has about 50 mics around him, and it's a green screen behind him.
Yeah,
it's flat out green. They didn't turn it on or do whatever they needed to do to, they didn't project anything. He was getting ready to do whatever he was going to do, and somebody snapped a picture of it and sent it out. That's the only way we're finding out things, by things leaking out like that. That's how tightly knit this evil organization is.
I do find it weird that all these politicians and all these celebrities and stuff keep going over there into an active possible nuclear war zone. I don't understand that.
You know what I think they should do? I think they should take like a big Disney World trip, like in the middle of Kiev. And then when Putin says, okay, we got about, 500 or so deep staters in there, and then boom, just drop one big nuke right on top of them. That solves the problem right there.
Well, but I think that's what Biden's waiting for, so they can drag us into the fucking war. I think they're waiting for. It's like almost like they're egging them on to. Biden warned them again today. I think actually yesterday was on CNN.
Right.
And he kind of warned them again. About.
I know he is you're right. He is trying to get us into it. It's like you look at the moves that they're making. You're like, are you guys nuts in the head?
Why? We're all sitting back going, what the hell are they doing?
Right. So you got to say, if we're smart enough to go, is he fucking nuts or what? Then the military's sitting back just laughing, going, he can say whatever the hell he wants, but whether we step up and we decide we're going to do something, we're going to do it, so.
Yeah, but the problem is you're poking a bear, and second of all, you're poking somebody, who's rumored. It's only rumored. There's rumors that he's healthy as an ox, and then there's other rumors that he's dying.
Yeah, I know.
If he's dying and you're pushing this guy, he's got nothing to lose.
And you see the speech he gave, that was a Ronald Reagan speech, for gosh sakes, talking about the satanic evil, trying to get your children to change their sex at 5 years old and younger. And, do we really want that? He called us the Satan, like Satan United States or Satan America or something like that. He's telling the truth. Everything I listened to in that thing was the absolute truth. You can't find more.
He sounded a lot like that new Italian prime minister. Well, I don't know her name. I can't remember. Have you seen her speeches? Mm-hmm. Oh, her speeches are phenomenal.
Well, they say she's really hardcore too. I haven't really heard her that much, but I heard that she's really hardcore.
You haven't heard her yet?
No.
You have to go watch her. If you liked what Vladimir Putin was saying, you have to go watch her speech, because it's one of the most surreal and in-your-face affronts to leftism. She talks about how they want to just enslave people by destroying the nuclear family. They want us all to be just a number, so that they can, so the bankers can enslave us and use us. She is she's whatever Putin said recently. She's said
Yeah.
that 10 times more.
They
Well,
definitely
you know that that Putin, that they put in the school systems, curriculum that shows the children fighting against witches and warlocks of the West to save Mother Russia. Back about 10 or 12 years ago, and I'm telling you, the things that they're saying is, I can't find anything wrong. I mean, we know that the United States itself is not the evil. It's the people that have taken over the United States that are evil. But sometimes there's consequences to pay for the population if we don't overthrow them and get them out of there and, elect them out of there so that we get some people in there that are good. That have the will of the people and have the good of the United States in their heart.
So her name, the new Italian prime minister that they're trying to call a fascist, her name is Giorgia Melani's. Let me read some of her transcripts from her speech real quick. This is her.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the family so threatening? There is an answer. Because it defines our identity. Because everything that defines us in this time is an enemy to those who would like us not to have an identity, any more than those who wish we were only perfect consumer slaves. Therefore, identity is under attack. National identity is under attack. Religious identity is under attack. Gender identity is under attack. Family identity is under attack. I must not be able to define myself as an Italian Christian female mother. No, I must be citizen X, parent 1, parent 2. I must be a number, because when I am only a number, when I no longer have an identity, when I have no more roots, well, then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of great financial speculators, the perfect consumer. Like,
oh yeah,
It's always
speech
been
is
that
so
way. We're
impassioned and
born
it's
as a
unbelievable.
number. It has always been that way.
Yeah.
Just it's never, been out front and up loud. It's all about money. Yes, they are trying to separate the family unit only because of money. The government gets more taxes if you're a single payer instead of a double, you file taxes together. It's all about money. They're
No,
easily
that's a
manipulated that way. You're needier that way. It's
That's-
all about money.
what you were just saying about the double taxpayers in a family and household, that's a double dip there, because not only do they get twice as much tax revenue with the female revolution by sending the women out, our mothers out into the workforce. Not only do they get double the tax money, but they also got you to send your kids off to a school so that they can indoctrinate you, to not indoctrinate them. So you're no longer the mother staying at home raising your children with the morals that you believe in. Now you're sending them off to a government school to be raised by them. So they not only they
And
get
to be
double
taught
tax
wrong.
revenue. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not
Yeah.
only do they get double the tax revenue now with the mothers being at work, but now they get to raise your children for you too.
Exactly. And to be dumbed down. When I
Yeah.
was in
Great
school,
future
the school
slave.
standards were so high. I'll give you an example. Math. And I grew up and went to school in Texas. Algebra 1, 2, 1 year, 3, 4, another, geometry, then trig and calculus. Here in Louisiana, and you think after so many years that standardized testing would be even more, it would be improved. Algebra 1, geometry. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
awful.
and here's something that just proves that this has
Dumbing
been
us
around
down.
for a very long time. If you can find this on the internet yourself, but this was Eisenhower's annual message to Congress on the State of the Union, January 6, 1955, and I'm only going to read this little quote portion of it. It is the utmost important that each of us understand the true nature of the struggle now taking place in the world. Now, if you notice, he doesn't mention Nazism and he doesn't mention communism. He's saying this is two different philosophies, okay? It is not a struggle merely of economic theories or of forms of government or of military power. At issue is the true nature of man. Either man is the creature whom the psalmist describes as a little lower than the angels, crowned with glory and honor, holding dominion over the works of his creator, or man is a soulless, animated machine to be enslaved, used, and consumed by the state for its own glorification. It is this, therefore, a struggle which goes to the root of the human spirit, and its shadow falls across the shadow falls across the long sweep of man's destiny. This prize, so precious, so fraught with ultimate meaning, is the true object of the contending forces of the world. And that was Eisenhower, man, our president. He knew exactly what was going on. And he knew that, and if you read other things that he wrote, he knew that this struggle would go on forever. As long as we're a nation, it would go on. And whether or not we could keep our nation, he said, we're very good as Americans rising to the occasion when we're called to do something to crush evil. But he says, we're not that good when it comes to like a slow smoldering frog in a slow pot of water that's been turned up to a boil. And he said, we have to be ready for those times and continue to fight this, even when we're not in a war footing or we're not escalated all the way to a war footing. We have to fight against this evil to stop it, or it'll infiltrate and take over.
Well,
and we can see it's taken over everything.
What do we do?
That's why I believe.
I mean, what do we do?
Right.
Hold rallies?
That's why I believe.
In secret?
Trump did not just
act? How do we do this? How do we implement this?
We do what we're doing now. We're educating people, trying to wake them up to what's going on. I mean, think about it. 4 years ago, people didn't know shit. Now people are starting to wake up because of shows like this, and there's a lot of other shows out there, and it's not because the mainstream media is helping us. They're fighting against us. But there's something going on. Trump was recruited. Everyone knows that. Trump was recruited by, the military, a certain faction of the military, and to fight against this evil that was trying to take over our country. And I believe it's getting ready. We're seeing it now, and it's getting ready to climax very soon. And we won't have to debate it anymore because we're going to see something happen really soon. That's my take on it. And it's been going on for, like I said, I mean, you read what Eisenhower said there, and then see who got the presidency after Eisenhower? Kennedy. Kennedy got the briefing from Eisenhower, and Kennedy said, "I'm gonna split this shit up into 1,000 pieces and scatter it in the wind," and they assassinated his ass because this has been a battle, and it's been a tit for tat against secret intelligence agencies within the U.S. military that are patriotic and American against the socialist communist administrative state that has been infiltrating and trying to take over this country. And they had a plan, and there's a plan in place, and that's why you're seeing this fight. That's why we're seeing this tit for tat, and we're seeing leaks all over the place. Things that that gives us hope, and then things that we're like, holy shit, we're getting ready to go to nuclear war. I mean, I really don't think we have to wait that much longer. I really don't.
Well, this whole entire government political process I don't see how it's going to change when they have a bunch of rhinos going in. I mean, playing as double agents, really Democrats acting as Republicans and vice versa. I mean, how are you ever going to have something that's transparent and true?
If we can get Kerry Lakes in there, things would change with someone at the helm to run the country, the right way. And
I think Lee Zeldin might win New York.
Yeah.
He's now within.
I mean, think about it. There's still people retiring. There's guys retiring that really shouldn't be retiring because they've only been in there like 6 years or 10 years. and they've been reelected every single time pretty easy. But now they're like, oh, I'm going to be a professor now. I want to get out. There's a reason, I think, why all this crap's happening. You know, I think some of these people are being told to get out. I mean, this is the most retired, not just Democrats, but Republican also, congressmen and senators since 1994. Remember, which was the Newt Gingrich thing.
Yeah,
You know, the
contract
America. Yeah, contract with America. So, and we crushed it. That was like a 108-year thing where we took over everything. You know, we took over all the majority of the state governorships. We took over the House, the Senate, and that was the first time in over 100 years.
I think they're saying now that this could be bigger than that. That the takeover could, the red wave could be a lot bigger than that. Well, not a lot bigger, but at least definitely bigger. And if Lee Zeldin does win New York, that's going to send shockwaves through the country because Democrat to Republican is 2-1 here.
So what does that tell you right now if someone says that they're trying to stop the elections? You know, it's not us because we think this could be we could be crushing them this time.
It could be a referendum on leftism.
You know, it's going to be the left wing. They're going to. I think they're going to try to use. You know, we had the 2,000 mule thing, and there's been rumors that people are going to sit by those boxes and make sure people aren't putting in too many ballots and all this stuff. I think there's going to be some kind of fight like that, and they're going to say, you know, their civil rights and voting rights were violated and all this stuff, and they're going to try to shut it down. There's going to something like. It might not happen that way. I'm just throwing that out there. But something like that's going to happen, I think, and they're going to try to do it, and that's going to trigger shit. And they're going to try to arrest Trump. They're going to do that, and it's going to be a freaking mess. So be ready. I mean, it's going to be a mess for a while. But I think in the end, I think we're going to prevail.
I hope so.
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah.
The one thing that we have to
I'm optimistic more than I was 6 months ago. Let's put it that way.
The one thing I think that we need to understand on the right that leftists already understand wholeheartedly is that this whole violence is never the answer. We're bigger than that. Take the high road kind of bullshit mentality that we've had for the last, 40, 50 years. It doesn't work. It isn't true. Don't misunderstand. I'm not encouraging anybody to go be violent when it's not necessary or attack innocent people by any means at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is our whole country and everything that we believe in the Constitution is founded on the principle of violence when it's necessary.
Yeah.
Violence is oftentimes the answer. Many times throughout history, violence has been the answer. We need to get rid of that.
I give, I'm not
Even
for
God
violence
was a wrathful God.
and us on this show. I mean, we're not really for violence, but like you said, let's look at what happened. I keep going back. Let's take a smaller aspect of it, not looking at the whole country. Let's look at Illinois and Chicago. Chicago was taken over by ruthless thugs that controlled the whole state government and did whatever the hell they wanted in there. There was no power within that government. This is a microcosm. There was no power within that government to get rid of those thugs because they would murder and kill you and kill your families.
Well, and also
this is the same shit that is going on the United States level. But who do we have? We don't have an Elliot Ness and the Untouchables to come in and save the government and try to turn things around. But we do have the Special Forces commands in the U.S. military that have sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States. We do have them.
You know, what happened to people like that? And like the Kenneth Stars in the 80s that was trying to hold Bill Clinton accountable for, what he was doing in the Oval. What happened to forming committees like that who actually go after people and who commit crimes who are high authority?
Yeah.
What is stopping anyone from making a committee of such kind? As long as Kenneth Starr was nothing but a prosecutor.
Let me ask you.
Well, they did. It only works Mostly that was kind of unique with the Clinton thing because most of the times they're on the left, and you saw what they did to Trump for over 2.5 years or so. I mean, they drag you through the mud and then they try to prosecute your ass.
Let me ask you this question. Okay. If corrupt people take over leadership and they're the ones that control the election process, just like that, like has happened in every communist country in the past, and they control the ballot system, they control the elections themselves, what other recourse do you have other than violence, other than a physical revolution, and other than to
That's
go
what I said.
physically and oust these people and
Need
take them
a
out and drag
revolution.
them out of office? That's the only solution.
And
Voting
listen,
doesn't
and these
help, doesn't matter anymore once the voting
I
process
agree.
is corrupted.
Jester's 100% right. And we're not talking about just,
I agree,
we're not
Justin.
just talking about corrupt people. We're talking about child molesting, children and women trafficking, evil satanic bastards that put up statues in New York City of what is that, like Baal or whatever the hell it was that they put up in there? I mean, these people are evil. I mean, they're not
Yeah,
good
they
people.
put 3 statues. In 3 different state capitals. One in Oklahoma.
Yeah, remember the one with what's the satanic one with the head of a
It's
animal, and it has
of a
children on
beast
its
and the
lap.
body of a man, and it's got 2
Yeah,
children on each side.
I,
And they made their point in court, saying, "Well, hey, we have our religious rights," and they won. That's the Church of Lucifer.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, out in front of
Yeah.
the United Nations, they have the leopard that's all different colored with the wings and everything from the Book of Daniel.
They made a
The
documentary
beast.
called "Hail Satan," and
I mean, these
it's
people are evil, and that's why when Trump said there will be no deals, I think judgment for those people will be swift, and judgment for the ones that are just afraid and were going along with shit, they'll just go to jail for the rest of their lives. I mean, I think that it'll be fair,
I
but
genuinely think the only way anyone is ever held accountable is if Trump wins in 2024 and he immediately declares martial law, suspends Congress, arrests everybody, uses the military. This is what has to happen. Guts every intelligence agency, goes there and physically arrests them and imprisons them. Because if he's elected president, they're going to just stonewall him the whole time. They're going to bind him up with a bunch of lawsuits just like they did last time. That's all they do. They just bide time until they can get to the next election cycle. That's all they want to do. So you have to prevent you. Unfortunately, your only chance is once you get elected, stop everything. Start
and
arresting.
remember,
it.
there is precedence for this because Lincoln had to do the same thing. He
Right,
had people within his own government that were against him in the states that were against him and trying to come in and take him out. And he had to he sent military in there and arrested their asses. And that's what, in some states, we're going to probably have to do that because it's that infiltrated. It's that wicked and
Can't
gone.
be done in 4 years. You can't get elected and then say, "Oh, all right, now we're going to get the process started." Because if you look at it, it's been 6 years since the Russia hoax. They've committed treason at that time. No one's been held accountable. They just stonewalled the whole time. The truth came out. Still, no one ever cared. That's the same exact thing that's going to happen.
And guys, we know this is hard to accept and understand, but you got to get this inside of you because I believe we're going to see this crap pretty soon. I mean, go read. I pulled up 5 articles on how much money they've spent on since Trump was in there until now. How much money they spent over at Gitmo? I think it was like $1.3 billion or whatever altogether. I mean, brand new courtroom facilities, secure areas for documents. They expanded the jail. They have a state-of-the-art hospital for geriatric patients. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, something's coming down. I'm telling you, something's coming down. And that's the only ones that are going to get lucky enough to go to Gitmo are the ones that don't get the firing squad in the electric chair and that kind of stuff. But I believe you're going to see not just not just tribunals in the United States, but I think you're going to see them in Russia. You're going to see them over in Europe. You're going to see things going on because this is a worldwide thing. This is not just the United States that we're talking about right now. This is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, this is basically freeing humanity of this monster that is really, since probably about the turn of the century, has taken over.
just I mean, yeah, we say it. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. We need to do this, but I don't. I mean, we don't see anybody. You don't see no one going. I mean, you look at go around, look at other countries, Europe. I mean, you mean like the UK, for instance. I mean, they're out protesting in the streets when they're trying to pass all these stupid things and trying to get them to do things. They're out there. I mean, but we in this country, we don't protest for anything. I mean, we don't even un- unless
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Maverick. We're not as radical as a lot of these other. I mean, do you see what they did in Indonesia and Iraq? They went into the presidential palace.
Well,
they were swimming in their pool. They were swimming in the pool and everything and eating the food. I mean, they're pissed. We're not the only ones pissed. They're all pissed too.
Well, I mean, watching our rights get taken away, and everybody's mad, but nobody wants to be the first one to do anything.
Our biggest show of force was, they said it estimated at about 2 million. The biggest showing, and in the middle of January when it was freezing cold on January 6th. A peaceful demonstration until they bring in some busloads of Antifa and Black Lives Matter people with MAGA hats on to stir shit up. But I mean, yeah, I mean, and then the Trump rallies. I mean, where 50, 60,000 people are showing up and everything. I mean, that's really the way that we're protesting. Yeah, we don't really get out in the streets unless you're Black Lives Matter or Antifa, and then you start stoning and throwing fire bombs at police and shit like that. That's what they do. We don't do that. We're really more of a peaceful.
You're losing. I mean, going to a Trump rally doesn't get you anything. I mean, all right, yeah, he fires the crowd up by saying different stuff, but that's it. I mean, you leave and then it's like, okay, that was great, and then they go back home.
Well, let me give you an idea how big they're saying. I know that you're skeptical of this, Maverick, and that's fine, but they equate it to, they're like, well, what can we do? What can we do? Can we get out there? Can we physically, we'll take up arms, we'll put our helmets on, we'll go out there. And
no, we don't have
the example they gave was
get out there and protest. Get out in the streets like all these other countries. I mean, we're watching all these other countries do this. They're all fighting for their freedoms. We're losing ours, and we're all just like, well, it'll be good. Somebody's going to do something. We'll just wait,
I think there probably has been, and the media doesn't cover it. Did you see? There's a movie out right now.
No,
there's a movie, and it's called Super Spreader, and what it's about is it's about during COVID, and these Christians went out, and when Gavin Newton and all that were saying you can't sing and you can't go to church and you can't do this, and these Christians were going out on bridges and under bridges and out in these areas, and the police were coming with their batons and their trucks and and clubbing them and trying to take them in and everything, but they didn't give up. They just kept peacefully praying and keep doing it. And you know what? Now they look back and they made this huge movie on it. I mean, and it's just awesome. I'd never even heard of this.
I know, but what has that really done? I mean, there is no such thing as a peaceful protest anymore because they break even the peaceful ones up. I mean, with their new technology of sound, and I mean, they break them up. There is no such thing anymore. You get arrested even for that. I mean, especially here in New Orleans, you would think that of all the cities in the world, I mean, in the nation, boy, there'd be lots of protesting here. Oh, hell no, because they got all the latest technology to disband it.
Well, what I believe what's coming, I look at it this way. On D-Day, when the Germans were shooting at our guys coming on shore, do you think you putting on a helmet and saying, I got my gun, I'm going to go out there and help them, would have helped at all? Hell no, you would have had your ass shot off in about 5 seconds. And that's what this is going to be. This battle is going to be so big and swift and hard. You just need to stay out of the way until it's done. You know, and I mean, we're going to have military troops on the streets and everything like that.
You know me.
I know what you are. I know you're skeptical about it. You want to see action, but I just showed you that this shit's been going on. I mean, Kennedy gave his speech about the groups that were secret societies and how they're repugnant to a free nation, and they have resources that are just as much as the military, and they can do basically whatever they want. And that was in the 60s.
All right, but here, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
All right, go ahead.
Let's say all that stuff that you're saying, what if it does not happen?
Then we're fucked.
And then
we're screwed.
And waiting for this to happen. And then
it's a bloody civil war at some point.
I mean,
Yeah.
We have to.
We don't really, I don't see where we have a choice, to be honest with you.
It's, and all right now, all it is a theory. I mean, what you're saying, all it is just a theory right now. I mean, we hope
you could say that, but Trump does give us indications and stuff, like the Ohio thing where he went in when he went into the flag that had the darkened stars, and then everyone looked up. What does darkened stars on a flag mean? It means this is distress. That means that we're a nation under siege. That means unrestricted warfare. That means you either surrender or we don't take prisoners anymore. We're going to kill you. And that was Trump. And people say, well, how did I know that? Well, people in the military, they looked it up, and that's what it means. So, I mean, he can't come out and tell us anything. This is a worldwide fight.
Get what you're saying.
But pretty soon, I don't think if he gets arrested, then we'll know for sure. Because how can you, if he's really like people say he is, that Biden is the administrative police state president that was elected that was appointed by Congress, but the military never gave over their okay for him to be commander in chief over them. Then if they arrest Trump, then the military is going to have to do something because they just arrested their commander in chief, right? So, I mean, we're going to see if anything really happens. I mean, I don't think we have to wait much longer. Even people like Juan O'Savin and these guys that never really give dates and everything are saying, that something's got to happen before the election, or we're pretty much screwed, basically.
I don't know.
So we'll see. I mean, so if it comes down like we just got done talking, that they're trying to stop the election, they don't want us to go, they come up with some stupid ass reason like they have to shut it down. Oh, and it won't be like permanently. They'll say, well, we got to just shut it down for 3 months till we figure this thing out. They're not. It'll be shut down forever. They're not going to. I don't think they can't let another election go because a red wave is coming that is going to do. And then when a red wave comes, that means Trump's getting back in, even if he's not appointed in by the military, or there's a Supreme Court ruling that says that he can come back in at some point. I mean, either way, I
said the same thing, Bravo, a couple of months ago. I don't think we're ever going to have a fair election again. I don't think they can take that chance. I don't think they're going to take that chance. I think they made a mistake by underestimating Trump or the support that kind of his ideology might have, which is American nationalism. And I don't think they're going to make that same mistake again. They're not going to leave anything up to chance. They're going to cheat as much as they need to. They'll probably go above and beyond because they cheated in 2016. They just thought they didn't need to cheat as much,
right?
This past 2020, they made sure they overdid it. You know what I mean? That's how you get an 8 million.
Well, yeah. When in history did they ever shut down? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Think about the planning it takes. You got to create a pandemic first, And then you got to say, well, since we have a pandemic, we can't, everyone's afraid to go out and vote. So we have to have a new system. And they go to their legislatures. They don't even go to their legislatures. The bureaucrats make all these rules that are being overturned by all the states. Pennsylvania overturned it. Delaware overturned it. I mean, and these are liberal states, that overturned it. So we've made a lot of headway in the states, like getting rid of some of these rules and things like that. And I believe the military's watching with the whole software issue and everything. I don't think they're going to be able to cheat like this, like they were able to before. And I think they know that. So the only thing they have left is either create a huge false flag, like maybe detonating something, or stop the election somehow. You know what I mean? Maybe because of the Ukraine thing, when they detonate a nuke somewhere. Who knows? Something's going to happen. We don't have, like I said, I could be wrong, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I look at things quite deep compared to a lot of people, and that's what I do for a living, for Fortune 100 companies. And I'm telling you, I see it. A lot of other people see it. There's shit. We're finding out shit that we would have never found out any other way. It's being leaked by high up people to us, so we know what's going on, and something's getting ready to happen, and we're going to see it. I mean, I'm glad it's happening in our lifetime, and our kids don't have to go through it by themselves. So,
well, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know you're ready for it to go, Maverick. I know you're like.
I don't think we have a choice. I think our backs are finally to the wall. I think
we don't. There's no getting out of this.
All the people that were anti-communist have consistently fled instead of fighting. They've consistently fled to safer territory, and eventually, all the anti-communists fled to the United States, and now communism is just following right along and infiltrated the United States now, and now people are no longer safe in the whole country. Now they're fleeing to specific parts of the country, specific anti-communist states, basically like Florida or right-leaning states now. And eventually you're going to be down to counties, and eventually you're going to be down to cities and neighborhoods. And one day your back's going to be to the wall, and you're not going to have anywhere to flee anymore. And you're not going to have a choice but to stand up and fight. And by that time, it's going to be too goddamn late.
Yeah.
We need to be progressive. We need to be
have any of you guys gesture?
We need to push against communism and take back communist territory.
Well, speaking of communism, China has been buying land in America, just left and right, just sucking it up. Is it true what I heard? Wait, let me finish. Let me finish, baby. Let me finish, please.
Well, here's
China has established its own.
Please let me finish. Is it true that they found hundreds of thousands of Chinese in underground bases ready to freaking attack America?
I heard on the Canadian border they did, and they took out those bases, but there's no way for us to really know. You know what I mean?
I heard they found some in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, I heard that too. I didn't hear that they were underground ones. I heard there was underground facilities like up beyond our Canadian border in Canada, and they were taken out by special forces. But who could know? I mean, they're not going to tell us, you know what I mean, if that kind of stuff's really going on.
Well, what I was trying to say that goes along with what you were saying was China has established a police station in New York City.
Yeah.
They have their own police station in New York City. The Chinese government. The Chinese government has established overseas police service stations to keep track of its citizens abroad, including one in New York City and 3 in Toronto, according to a human rights group.
And I guarantee you arrest a Chinese person now in New York City, they will have an advocate from the Chinese police department with them the whole time, and they're not going to be able to prosecute those people anymore. I mean, it's getting crazy. I mean, this is not even America anymore. That's what I'm saying. We are so infiltrated. And remember, 1917, the communists went into Russia. It only took them about 10 or 15 years to take them over. They came into us in 1919. It's just taken them a longer time, but they've gotten to the point where look how. I mean,
I think we lost.
now they
There he
don't
is.
give a crap if we know what the hell they're doing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, what state was that in that they bought land right next to an Air Force base?
And they were flying drones.
Yeah,
I know they bought a lot of land in Denver,
and
surrounding the Denver airport.
our
So did the Queen.
Department of Defense said, "Oh, we're watching it, but we're not concerned." Why the hell would you be concerned? You
Right.
know, it's no good. I mean, why else would they buy a piece of land right next, right?
And
next-
then just like
here's
BlackRock,
the-
BlackRock is the first huge company that actually China allowed to come into their country, and BlackRock is buying up everything.
Well, here's the nice thing. Go Google this. 2 days ago or 1 day ago, BlackRock just had $756 million worth of property in Louisiana confiscated by the state treasurer. Something's going on because you don't confiscate.
Wait, by the
stuff. You
state
don't-
treasurer?
Yeah,
Did
you don't.
say the
You
current
don't,
state
and
treasurer?
the attorney general.
I live
You
in
don't-
Louisiana, and I have uncovered through my investigations unbelievable mortgage fraud and
Because-
money laundering through
Hold on, let me finish.
high up doctors. I mean, it goes all the way up to the highest politicians. I mean,
And the reason
what
was because the stuff that they were purchasing was detrimental to the health of the state of Louisiana. That's what the conclusion was. So if they're going after BlackRock and saying the stuff you're doing is illegal and the stuff that you're purchasing is illegal and is a detriment to our state, then they don't want that to get out because you know what? That gives other treasurers and other state attorney generals that will do the same thing. So just watch to see if your attorney.
because he signed off on all of these illegal mortgages. I'm talking like one doctor.
Yeah, this guy's a
$100 million
Republican. This new guy's a
mortgage
Republican.
fraud for one house uptown that's only worth $1.5 million and $100 million mortgage. That is definitely mortgage fraud because you can't get more than 50% of what the home is worth. And you know what the company was bought under? The doctor's name was, the company is called Love and Craps. Now you tell me what that is. That's poker and prostitution.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, this guy's
underground poker and prostitution ring.
newly elected.
It's the same,
treasurer.
dude. Oh my God.
Treasurer.
Can you send me that? Can I give you my email? I need that. I need that information where you found that at.
Yep.
Please. Do you have my email? That's very important to me
Yeah,
because it goes with what I'm doing right now.
You guys want to hear
Can you
something
give it
else?
Don't give it
Can't-
over the air. Give it to Maverick, and then he can send
Okay,
it. to
yeah.
me.
Me and Maverick are in touch a lot. So, okay, please do. You have it, Maverick?
I don't think I have your email though. I don't. Let me see.
Can you give?
Yeah,
Can you give?
that was breaking news. That was either yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, Shannon, just send
Really?
me your email through either Instagram message or somewhere. one
Yeah,
of those.
me and
And you
Maverick
can find
talk on
it,
Insta.
Shannon. You can find it. All you got to type in is Louisiana treasurer confiscates property from BlackRock. It comes right up when you
because
type
this
it
is
in.
very, very important to me right now. And it'll come out later on why I asked this. So, okay, thank you very much. You actually just helped me out a lot
Yeah.
because I don't watch TV anymore since all the fake news.
Well, this was on. You ever listen to the Health Ranger, Mike Adams? It was
No.
on his thing today. He
Health
had
Ranger
breaking
Mike
news.
Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow! Thank you.
What were you saying there, Jester?
I was saying, speaking of BlackRock, do you guys know who the largest shareholder of almost every major Ivy League university is? It's BlackRock.
Yeah, BlackRock has
They're the
10
main
trillion, over
shareholder.
10 trillion in assets
Yeah,
worldwide.
they're the main shareholders. I was reading a lot about BlackRock and what the hell it is. It's like, it's literally basically it's a It's basically a computer AI that just buys shares and stocks and shit like that, and gobbles up. And they think it might even be like
they own. Who do you think owns Pfizer and Merck and all these things? BlackRock finances all that stuff. They finance everything. All these things you get in the mail now. How many offers have you? You know how many offers I've got on both of my properties? At least 24 of them. They're coming from companies that are getting money from BlackRock and these, BlackRock affiliated companies. They're trying to buy up everything in America because with their fiat cheap, fucking filthy, no good money that's not worth a shit anymore, and trying to gobble up our real assets so we don't have anything.
Yeah.
You guys know how it's happening though? It's literally insane. It's a program, right? That's called Aladdin. You need to look it up, BlackRock Aladdin, and how it works.
Yes.
It's essentially
It's a software program.
It's a software program that was created to like read the market and kind of learn from the market from past and predictive, and basically buy stocks and shares on its own. They just gave it has free will. Basically,
it's like
to
AI.
buy and sell.
Yeah,
It's pretty much AI. And
it's like insider trading AI. Yeah,
right. So do you think that they have like total control of the stock market and probably crypto and everything else? Because all they got to do is put it on some sort of algorithm, and that's why you ever notice how like everything goes down at the same time, everything goes up at the same time. I mean, they can swing the market. I mean, even all of us people
owned.
Huh?
Yeah, listen.
no, actually, BlackRock is not Chinese owned. They're three white gentlemen, but they've gone into bed with China. But the owners are
they finance China.
American. Yeah, but now they're in bed with China.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that they admit to 10 trillion. So it's more than that. They say plus 10 trillion plus in assets they control worldwide. So it's probably 20, 30, 40, 50 or 100 million.
Well, it says here Aladdin is an electronic system built by BlackRock Solutions, the risk management division of the largest investment management corporation, BlackRock Inc. In 2013, this is the Aladdin program. In 2013, it handled 11 trillion in assets, including BlackRock's 4.1 trillion assets, which was about 7% of the world's finance assets, and keeps track of 30,000 investment portfolio. As of 2020, Aladdin, the program itself, on its own, it's completely it's unassisted. There's no human interaction at all. Aladdin manages 21.6 trillion in assets, which has got to be more than 10% of the world, the whole world's financial assets.
Yeah, because our yearly budget, I think, or that we spend, I think, is like 10 trillion or something like that a year, 8 to 10 or something like that. So I mean, think about that.
This is a program
they control over what the United States equivalent in money.
A lot of people don't even know the truth behind BlackRock or the specific. They just hear the term BlackRock and they go,
and people don't realize what did BlackRock do big about 2 weeks ago. They made a deal with Coinbase, and now Coinbase, all their investors that are worth so many millions of dollars, Coinbase is going to be their avenue to purchase crypto and things like that exclusively. So Coinbase is not going anywhere now because now that BlackRock's involved with them. So
that's crazy.
Well, I don't know. I just think it's too easily hackable. They can hack into anything. They say, "Oh, it's unpenetrable."
These
Bullshit.
days, I don't think there's anything.
Freaking Goose is not here. This is for Goose. Freaking bullshit.
Well, nothing's impenetrable, but blockchain right now, I don't think there's anything that can break it. But that's not to say that something can't come in the future to break it. You know what I mean? Because everything's evolving all the time. And well, they say there's only like 3 quantum computers in the world or something like that right now. So as they get more quantum computers and things like that, I'm sure they'll be able to break it at some point.
It's the people that build the computers are the ones. Sorry. They
Yeah.
always leave a back door for everything. It's unbelievable. They're trying to take over the world. It's exactly what they're doing through hacking.
Yeah, I wish I could find it. There was something out there. A guy gave a big briefing. I mean, there had to be 10,000 people at this thing, and he was some kind of computer guy, a big guy. I don't remember what his name was, and he was explaining how quantum computers work. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of scary the way that works. In layman's terms, it seemed like to me what he was saying was, because he was getting into spiritual things too and everything, and he was like, that they figured out a way to have a computer system go outside of our realm, communicate with somebody else to get the answer who knows the answer, and then through the quantum computer, they give the answer back to us. That's basically what he was saying.
He's talking to God.
Not God.
Oh, the devil?
Not God. No.
He's saying the devil?
The devil. Well, there's more than just the devil,
Well, I know what you're talking about.
Angels,
The supercomputer that they looked at, that they found, and every scenario possible, the algorithms that they put in, actually, it all ended up in the same result. That's why they sped up the depopulation plan and said every scenario, if they didn't go in harmony with the earth, then the entire world would be destroyed. I know what you're talking about.
right?
That computer.
So,
Yes.
and right now when you hear about there's good aliens and bad aliens and good angels and bad angels and stuff like that, really, if God's angels come to you, you're going to know it, and there's not going to be any doubt. When Satan's angels come, you're going to say, because they're still powerful and everything like that, you're probably going to be in awe, but it's not going to be the same. And these are the ones that are orchestrating, playing good cop, bad cop with the humans of the world and everything like that, saying some of them say they're helping us and some of them say they're not. Some are the bad ones and don't listen to them and this and that. You hear the whole thing, and we just know it's one big deception if you go with what the Bible says. That's what I go by.
Well, the agenda is just to have heaven on earth. Bliss, high productivity, higher mind, evolving of the human race, and to live in harmony with the world, to have a certain population for its health, disease, and only survival of the fittest, leave the higher minds that can only help the world, and what they call the useless eaters they want to destroy.
Which
Right, raccoon?
it sounds kind of like the Nazis, doesn't it? Yeah.
It sure does. It sure does. See,
Right.
a raccoon
So
reason.
the people at the very top orchestrating everything, they're not Nazis and they're not communist. They use those two groups to do their bidding. They're just satanic, evil, wicked sickos, psychopaths. You know what I mean? So, and they're getting their commands from entities, interdimensional
There's
beings that
there's
we
certain
know
levels.
we
You
know
have the
that have to do
Illuminati,
with
you have the
Satan.
Rosicrucians, you have the what is it, the 100, the Council of 100, and so on and so on. Then the Freemasons down to it's all a tier level process,
Yeah.
and all these secret societies are working together down to the local level of the Freemasons, and such as the fire department and the police department, and now combining with the medical. But everything starts, believe it or not, with the medical, and you must beware.
Yeah, the medical Nazis and too, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look how they've militarized our police. When I was growing up, police used to walk the beat. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, they used to 2 or 3 of them would walk the streets together, and talk to the population, everything like that. So now look at it. They gave them all that surplus military equipment. There was a reason for that, because they know they could not use U.S. forces on the street to take us over, but they could militarize the police with all military equipment and everything like that. And then with contracts with them, they'd have to abide by the contracts that if they needed help and everything, that they would have to step in with their military equipment to do their dastardly deeds for them. So this has been a long process, man. And like I said, we're at the climax right now, and I really don't think we're going to be debating this too much longer. I think we're going to see one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, then you're going to see factions. You're going to see people splitting off. And what's really sad is the people with enough balls and cojones, it's going to be veterans fighting new military, the new military wanting to not lose their pensions and other things. It's going to be sad. It's going to be brother against brother. And that is almost biblical. And it is. It's a scary thing. And we are right on the edge of the iceberg of it not happening at all, or a completely just full on scale of a civil war. But I don't think it'll be just one war. It'll be different. It'll almost be like not just enemy against enemy. It'll be several groups fighting each other for different reasons. It's not just going to be
I don't know.
people against the government.
I think it's going to be more against the government. What are you seeing, like when you see France and Italy? They're not fighting brother against brother. They're not killing each other. They're going against government buildings. They're going in there. They're taking them over because they know it's the government. And we're smart here. We know that we know it's the government too, and we're not going to go killing each other. I think you're going to see left and right. I think you're going to see left tree huggers type people that really aren't communists, but they just kind of got snowed in by the communist people, that they're going to figure it out eventually, and they'll join forces, and then it's going to be against the government. The government
there's a lot of things that they don't put on mainstream news. Like, you didn't hear that over 100 manufacturing food processing plants were burned to the ground.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Nothing to see there. That's just an accident. Don't even look.
Oh,
there.
yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly, because of what they're putting in the food for depopulation, such as sawdust, not just depopulation, for business to fill in fillers, to expand their products, make them bigger.
Who sent me the article about the plastic and stuff they're putting in things? Was that you, Maverick? Did you send that to me? Somebody sent me something that the crap that they're putting in to feed pigs, they're grinding up plastic bottles, and they showed the law. It's federal law. You can do that.
And actually, there's a lot of things.
Garbage. They can take garbage, bottles and all, not glass, but all the plastic, like plastic utensils, everything, and they grind it up into a powder, and they put it into the feed of the hogs and everything. So, and cows and everything. So we're eating that shit. No wonder we're getting microfibers of plastic in our bodies and everything.
Not just that. It's also Bill Gates bought up all these earth movers and are moving all these salt mines where they're finding all these crystals, and they're feeding the crystals to the cows and the animals and the meat that we eat. And what it does is it throws it to all the fat. And how the medical can decide that if you're diabetes type 2 is based upon of all these little crystals that are in your bloodstream. They know that you're eating too much sugar because they put a lot in the sugar, in all the white foods, whatever in the white foods, milk, whatever, and it will collect into your fat. And also, these crystals can resonate. So if you get out of control, they can take these high energy weapons that all local policemen are buying up and pretty much drive you insane. It's crazy what they're doing.
Well, between that and the graphene oxide they're putting into people. Yeah.
Yes.
All that stuff's conductible, and it listens to frequencies. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that are highly conductive. Yes. Oh, you are a very awakened person.
Makes you wonder
I like you.
when they're gonna activate all these people who took the vaccine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see the video? They're putting them out on TikTok where people are like taking one of those high powered magnets and they'll put it on their arm. And if they see the
Mhm.
skin bumping out, a buddy of theirs took a scalpel and he sliced them and then they put the magnet, he's bleeding and everything. And they put the
Mhm.
magnet and they pulled out all that graphene and it was all over the magnet. So you tell me that
It's
shit.
mixed
I
with
mean,
nanotechnology as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think all this is going to come out. I know everyone's like pissed because it takes so long, but I'm telling you, justice, you can smell it. It's like it's smoldering under and ready to explode out. I mean, I really do
Mhm.
think so.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you,
Can only
Trump's
hope.
not going in. I mean, he's not going back in as president. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to tell you what I really feel. There is not going to be another president. They're going to put him in. It's going to be some other type of position. There's something in the military code of justice, that the law of war book that says that they can put somebody in like that. He'll be in there for the next 2 years to straighten his shit out, arrest everybody, put everyone in jail, hang and tribunals. It'll be worldwide. It's going to be big. I mean, it's going to blow people away. I have a feeling.
I think we're going to become more like the movie The Hunger Games. It's going to be certain factions, certain levels. You will be placed. It'll be like not segregation back then, but based upon skill level, intelligence level, warrior level.
I
It's
say you're
coming.
right. If things
Yeah.
don't go the way that I'm thinking, then you're right. That's where we're going to end up. That's what they have planned for us. That's Agenda 2030. Remember, it was 2021, but they couldn't make it in time because Trump threw a big winger into their plans, so they extended it out to 2030 now. And we know the Deagle report says that the populations of the world, especially the United States, are going to go down by 2025. So they've already done something big with these vaccines, but that's not the only thing. People don't realize the next vaccine that they give out will trigger the vaccine that they gave everyone the first time, and
Yes.
we're going to see stuff happen.
And I
So
know
we just
people
got to
think it's
pray.
crazy, but you will learn these 5G towers are going
Yeah,
to be able to turn on some of this technology that's microscopic and nanotechnology. So that's why the big push for these 5G towers.
well,
And people will wake up when they start vibrating and they're actually reading your health and actually reading your mind. They're coming
well, you
out
know
with the
what, too, though,
technology of putting it in your
things
ears
that,
so they can actually read your freaking mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
They're
they say.
It's
already
here.
They'll
doing
It's
be
it,
able
already
to do.
here.
Shannon.
Hi,
Hey,
They're
honey.
already doing it, Shannon. All the
I know.
appliances
You
you
know I
bought in the
know.
last 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
all the appliances you bought in the last 10 years send out and receive all kinds of information in your house and listens to your conversations, whether you have them on or not.
Oh yeah,
It's already here. And all this crap with the shots, all that stuff that they got in there will also help them monitor your appliances in your house and your automobile,
yeah,
your cell phone. You could be out walking around and they'll know your location because you'll be transmitting a signal between the cell towers. The
yeah,
triangulation, know exactly where you're at.
Yep.
I've been down that rabbit hole.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing that gives me hope is, I've been watching and listening, and they're finding out that the new iPhones don't have the chip in there, the 5G chip. There's a spot for it, but for some reason, it didn't get put in there. Now, I'm wondering if maybe, some of the white hats got involved and said, you're not putting that shit into these phones because people will start dropping dead, just like they were doing in China. That's why the people were dropping dead in China. They turned on the 5G in the cities and it was killing people instantly. They were dropping dead.
Time to feed the dog. Sounds like a nuclear
have to get
bomb
medicine.
alert.
People are dead.
Breaking up, Raccoon.
For years. Huh?
We can't hear you, brother.
Am I in the Matrix?
Yeah, you were.
You were.
Okay.
Now you're like in a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
in
well,
that
that
rabbit
happens
hole.
to me. That happens
Oh, there
to
you
me
are.
when I get
You're
on
back.
a lot of shows, guys.
You're back. You're back.
They have. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go silent for a minute. Get my daughter shot.
Oh, you're back in the Matrix there, brother. All right.
Okay, I'm really starting to think this is NSA or some kind of government. It's either always Raccoon, Chris Wilson, Big Chief. They're trying to silence him. That's exactly what it is.
Well, they just gave me I never see this thing. They just gave me a 2-minute warning. Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I would love to
No,
continue
well, maybe
this
we're
conversation.
hitting a little too hard today, huh? Yeah.
We were just getting into it.
I usually run
Raccoon
I usually run 10 minutes over, and they let
Yeah, I
me.
know.
Hey, they threw that thing right up there. I can't even get rid of it. All right, well, I guess we're gonna have to end the show here before it cuts me off. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. Next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Goose will be back from his vacation with Mickey Mouse, hopefully. Bravo, thank you for coming in. Shannon, thank you very much. Jester, thank you for filling in for Goose. And all right, well, let's see if let me play some music.
Give us a good song on the way out here.
Let me.
They gon' try to call you names, label things till you're ashamed. You're sexist or racist, white supremacist or gay. They'll attack your reputation, claim that you're the one to blame, and try to make you hate yourself for ways that you behave. They're just names, embrace them and they'll never cause you pain. They're just words that another person thought up in their brain. They're just names, they do not define you, that's insane. And they'll just call you something different if you change. Call me racist, I don't make no BLM donations. I can stand with black folks without a branded corporation. All this systemic prejudice, if you live in this nation, you privileged, black or Caucasian. Call me transphobic, but I support you in your policies. I just can't ignore the very basics of biology. All I see is men and women trying to live in harmony, not 100 genders that you wanna be. Call me snowflake, cause I'm offended, I ain't stone